Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of TCK Table Podcast. I'm your host, Chef Davion Lewis here. Remember, this is a podcast where we believe food is therapy and the kitchen table is safety. So I have my special guest here, my dear brother, Raheim Stephens. It's going to be that. Raheim Stephens with me is my dear brother in Christ. I love him, love him, love him. Go ahead and tell him who you are. Give him a little brief introduction of yourself.
My name is Raheim Stephens. First and foremost, I want y'all to know that I am a child of God. That's number one. Number two, I'm just a work in progress, a work through Him in progress.
Yes. All right. Well, I appreciate that, brother. And so today we're going to talk about brother Raheim's story. We're going to talk a little bit about his story, what he has to offer us on today. Wonderful testimony. He's come a long, long way. I'm very proud of him. And but we're going to get into that in just a second. So we've come to our first portion, our first segment of the podcast, Word of the Day. Y'all know what it is. We take a word that pertains to the topic or the story at hand. We break it down, dive deep into it just to give you all as listeners a little bit of a context and just to overall connect the story piece for today. So the word of the day is restricted, and I'm going to read that definition to you, and just like it, we're going to go through it and chop it up, do what we do, okay? So the word restricted means limited in extent, number, scope, or action. Put a limit on, keep under control, deprive someone or something of freedom, of movement, or action. The third definition says having limited access to information, documents, or classifications due to status. What does that word do for you? What does that word speak to you?
Oh man, that word speaks volumes to me because throughout my life I've been restricted in many different areas, whether it be from the choices I've made, the mistakes that I've had to pay for, or just wanting to do more but not having the not seeing, you know what I'm saying, more in front of me, so I didn't know, you know what I'm saying, how to go after it.
Okay, that's what's up. Now, for you, does any of these words or any of these definitions in particular stick out to you?
Oh yes. Limited in, put a limit on, keep under control, deprive, also of freedom or movement or action. That speaks incarceration to me, and I've been incarcerated several times, just to be honest, 5 times. And that there restricted me from my family, restricted me from just a lot of things, just even having a mindset that I could be free. You know what I'm saying? I was restricted in that area. And as far as being incarcerated, that's all it is restrictions. Bars, limits. Cells, being told what to do, when to do. You know what I'm saying? And you're restricted from, and the one that really sticks out to me is being restricted from my family.
Wow. Yeah, I know that's a tough place, man, and with incarceration, you know, it doesn't always necessarily have to be a physical thing, right? You can be incarcerated in your mind, and you just spoke to that. It said it kept you even from having that opportunity to know you had a free mind. One of these words that really, really stick out to me is that third definition, because it says having limited access to information, documents, or classifications due to status, right? Once somebody slapped that label on you,
it's over with.
It's a done deal. You know, it really is. And I think that's part of the restriction that should be revised, especially in our legal system, because a label, a mistake, and you know, a decision, a choice, whatever, can literally alter your access to information, documents, or even classifications simply due to your status. That's the part that really, I think, has the lifelong lasting effect.
Well, you know my story.
Yeah.
And you know it personally. And you saw me fresh out, not just coming into the church lifestyle of Christ. My extended family.
That's right.
And you saw the struggles of me finding employment. You know what I'm saying? It took 3 years to find employment because everybody was looking at the paperwork
the status.
and seeing the status and was saying no from the top. Not what I had to offer. You know what I'm saying? Just what the paperwork said I had been through.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So I was restricted in that area alone.
That's it.
And it really was an uphill battle. And it's still an uphill battle. But God is swinging doors right now.
Open, wide open.
I mean, wide
For sure. Yeah, so like I said, that third definition really, really does hone it in for me, especially when it comes to restriction, because, and it's just the last part, due to status. And the thing about status is status don't have to be current.
No.
It don't have to be telling of everything. It could literally just be one area that we looking at, and due to that one area, you denied. Access denied. And so we never want to get in a place, especially when we talk about having a free mentality or a free mind, right? Where you can go through life after incarceration, having come out, go through the process of really, really getting free in your mind.
Right.
But then you walk out your door and you can't get a job. You can't, get your license. You can't get, weapon to protect yourself. You restricted simply because of status.
Not even only that, you get the looks.
Yeah.
You get the looks from people
that don't even know.
That don't know you. That don't know you. They restrict you, and they restrict you from sometimes even going that extra step to make it be known. You know what I'm saying? That hey, I'm a regular person, and I'm not the same person. You know.
Wow, that's good insight. I like that. I like that. What you just said. A person looking at you, judging you based off of a status that's on a piece of paper, right? Not even giving you the opportunity or the window to express your freedom. Because you're free.
I'm free.
You see what I'm saying? You free.
You paid my debt.
The Son set you free. You free indeed, right?
Amen.
But they don't even give you the opportunity to express you free. Right. And change. I love it. Okay, let's get back. We done broke this word all now. I love it. Let's get into the meat of the subject. We've gone through our well for starters. Now we're going into our food for thought. And the first question of the day is, talk about why you were in prison or incarcerated and what that experience was like for you.
Well, I was incarcerated for, like I said, 5 times, and all the same thing. Possession of a controlled substance with the intent to deliver. Basically, that's what the court said it was. But what I said was, it was just me wanting to take shortcuts in life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, and that experience of incarceration, I got incarcerated when I was 21 years old. And hearing the stories of how it would be going into the jail, it was exactly like that. And it builds up a hardening in you. You know what I'm saying? It really does harden you to... You forget about the outside world because you have to be inside a world. You know what I'm saying? That is a world in itself. In a world, I got you. And that's why I said the word restricted fits so good. I mean, you have a cell that you can do this in and touch the walls in. You know what I'm saying? You have a cell that you have to lay by your head by the bars, and 40 or 50 different criminals come by while you sleep. You have to adapt to that. But more than anything, you're restricted from movement. You're being told when to wake up, when to eat, when to shower, when to stand, when to sit down. You know what I'm saying? It really sends you into your mind into a world spin to where you have to adapt. And that there really played a real part on me, on my earlier life. And I'm just so glad that I was able to climb out of that mindset. You know what I'm saying? I was able to come home, even though I went back several times because I wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? To give it all up. You know what I'm saying? I was still, in my mind, restricted. I only had one thing to do in my mind, which was a restricted mindset. I only had one thing to do. I used to say to myself, man, if this stuff don't work out, I'm going to go back to what I know best. And that was because my mindset was restricted.
Gripping.
I mean, but
wouldn't let you.
Man, but when you're in there, it is a total survival mode. You know what I'm saying? And you're around people that might not be going home. You know what I'm saying? They might not be going home. So they're always showing, trying to show, you know what I'm saying, that, hey, I have to defend myself, and more than likely it's with physicality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that hardens you, and that also makes you come out. When you do come out, and you handle everybody differently.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You restrict yourself from living a normal life. What you grew up knowing, what you throw all that out the window. And they call it when you have an incarcerated mindset, and you come right out of jail and you handle everything just like you do when you're incarcerated. Which you restrict yourself from the world, you restrict yourself from any development, you know what I'm saying, that the world has for you.
Wow, man, you really just opened up some things, and I want to touch on a few of them, but you really just opened up some insight for me, and just your description. One of the things, like you're talking about currently, that not being able to bounce back from once you're released, you deal with folks the same way you had to deal with folks in the system, because there's a level of that in you, right? It's bred in you. And the part of it that really opens up the eyes for me is that it makes me see things like this. You're inundated with that mentality. You come out, and then how do you, let me put it to you like this. It's just like a military man. They break down literally your will to where all you know how to do is kill. They break you down so deep into all you know how to do is aim, fire. That's it, right? And so when you come out into civilian life, how do you adjust from the noise and all of the things that you were used to, and having to do it day in and day out, day in and day out? That's really eye-opening, and that's something that we have to. I appreciate you for breaking that open. That's something we have to realize as general population. Because when, as you said it before, somebody will judge you, not even giving you the opportunity to show
who you are,
the change in you, right? And so that's a stigma all by itself, but it stems from that. We have to be sensitive to know that those loved ones and those friends and families or whoever that are coming out of that incarcerated state, it's just as much of a shift for them as it is for us as just general people giving them love and support. You know, another thing that you touched on too, you said, man, you unpacked a lot. I just want you to know you unpacked a lot. Another thing you was talking about how some of these men and some of these people in the system, they know they ain't never going home.
Never.
So they ain't got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose by exerting themselves, by the violence, whatever they own. They ain't got nothing to lose, nothing to keep them grounded to reality.
Right.
So in that system, someone could lose all sense of reality.
Oh, I've seen it numerous of times.
Man.
Where a short term, like somebody with a small number, like you're doing 5 years, 10 years is a small number to somebody that's not going home.
Right.
You're doing a small number, and they tell you it's all across every penitentiary system. Don't talk about your time.
Yeah.
Don't talk about your time, because somebody that's not going home, they don't want to hear about your time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? At all. And you gotta understand that. Wow. It is really depressing when you get down there and you really get into it, and you have to find something that you can hold on to. Your family. I found God. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That I was able to really get into and understand that this is where the change is gonna have to begin at. And I had a real good support system, but with the negative impact that it has on you, and then with them really teaching you a negative impact. I've never heard the word recidivism. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I've never heard it, but it's the return rate that you go back into the penitentiary. I've never heard it.
You got me, because I ain't never heard it.
You know what I'm saying? I've never heard it. But until I got into the penal system.
So is that something to where they assess a person and say, "Oh, you'll be back"? Basically.
Yes, that's what they're saying. That's the return rate. You know what I'm saying, of a person. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I've never heard of that, but it stuck. They drove it so hard. They drove it so hard. They drove it so hard to where it was like, okay. And I had a pattern.
Yeah.
I had a pattern. I would come out and stay home for no more than 2.5 years. Every time. And I would be right back. Am I blaming them for that? No, because these were my decisions. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not blaming them for that, but you gotta understand, man, when they don't equip you, when they equip you with, just because the penal system is a money-making machine.
That's everything.
So when they equip you with what they want to equip you with and download what they want to download into and what they want you to start thinking about instead of ways to cope with society when you get out, you know what I'm saying? Ways to really make a change.
Yeah.
There's no information about. All they'll give you is a booklet, a packet. Yeah. They'll let you read that by yourself. But anything that they're willing to show you that where the penal system has a high rate of return, they will break that down for you. I mean, daily.
Give it to you. Yeah. Wow. And I think that, you know, and we talked about trauma and things like that on the show before. One of the main ways, as far as, especially when you talk about in the prison system, I believe it's just a narcissistic system all the way around. And one of the key ways a narcissist keeps their power is by reinstating a level of complacency, right? Just this is what it is. It's security here. It's safety here. You know what to expect right here. And so a lot of times, and we see it time and time again, when somebody's released from prison, like you say, you have this mentality that you can't shake up off of you. Right. You know where you can go to be, at least to feel like you know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
And you relate, and you relate people and things different. You have how we were here, and it's not the same here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And what you don't realize that you're doing is you're creating a comfortable state for the state that you was in. You know what I'm saying? You're saying you can cope better here. Yeah. Cope. Then you could cope out here. Yeah. And it's a lot of people that feel like I was better off. I was better off in here because a lot of people that are in here are just like me. There's no judging of who I am in here. You know what I'm saying? But when I come out, then the judgment starts.
Yeah. And even just the skills to cope with how to deal with the judgment, how to deal with life after this. There is no transition.
No, because they teach you one way to deal with anything negative in there. They teach you one way, and it's only one way. It's not a soft route. It's not a easy route. They teach you one thing.
And so in a way, they just instituting the behavior in and of itself. Right. How do you expect someone to come out who's been beat down, talk too dirty, talk too crazy, to come out and to be able to function in society? So when the manager get in my face and talk to me a certain kind of way,
how do I handle that?
How am I supposed to handle that any different than the way I saw it displayed before me by the men who had ruled over me?
And immediately call you institutionalized.
Wow.
In a minute, if you go back a couple times, and even if you handle ways the same thing, you can come out in society. We'll call you institutionalized because you can't handle things that the way society say you should be able to handle things. So they'll immediately put a word on you in a minute.
Oh yeah.
And once you get called so many things so many times, you can have a strong mindset and you can be trying to fight your way out of that word. But after a while, you know what I'm saying, some of you starts judging and questioning yourself. Wow. Am I? You know what I'm saying? Am I really? You know what I'm saying? Institutionalized. And hey, from then on, you got to really be intentional about trying to change, because anything after that, after you let your mind grip around that maybe I could be, it's leading you right back.
Wow. All right, so our next question is, what was your breaking point within the confines of that experience, that entire experience? I know you said you've been about 5 times, and so back and forth, but at some point you made a decision. So what was that breaking point for you?
It was, I'm going to be real, it was family. Missing family, not being able to, man, it's something to be able to, you get a visit, and your visit is just like this. On the other side of this is your family, and you get a kiss when they walk in, you get a hug when they walk in, and from then on, it's whatever you're eating passed across the table, watch what you're doing, and this is somebody that you love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, the fact that, hey, my parents were getting older, and it would just really break me down if something was to be able to happen to them, and I'm not able to get to them, because you won't be able to get to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a few that are, but believe me, it's gonna be very hard for you to be able to attend anything. So once I set that around, and I really, one of them was seeing my wife go through struggles while I was gone, because I was gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not being able to pick her up. You know what I'm saying? And she's coming to see me, and I'm hearing the stories of what she's going through, and it was time to make and it sounds crazy, it was time to make a change for the people that I loved, if I really said that I loved them. You know what I'm saying? Even before the mindset of, hey, make a change for you. But if it was the people that I love, and if you say you love these people, stop sending these people through this, because it's a saying down there that, hey, you just not doing the time by yourself. Your family is doing the time with you.
Wow.
Every day, every phone call, every night that they have to go to sleep without you by the side, they're doing the time with you. So when I finally, man, I was at the Wing Unit in Huntsville, and they have a real big church.
Yeah.
And as you know, I love to sing. So, man, it was just a pull on me. And I'm gonna be honest with you, now the heat is something else. So the only place that had AC was the faith-based dorms. You know what I'm saying? So it's a saying, you go to the barbershop, you're gonna get a haircut. So I'm trying to escape the heat.
All right,
so I go to the faith-based dorm, and the Lord just grabbed me.
Right in there.
He just grabbed me right here. He said, you thought you was coming here for the AC, but really you was coming here to meet me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And when that finally, man, when he finally showed me what they wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? When he finally showed me what they wouldn't, when he finally said, in me there is no restriction.
That's it, man.
You know what I'm saying? There is no restriction in me. When he finally just said, hey, if you choose me, then don't worry about nothing else. You got the best on your side. If you just choose me. And you know, it's something to hear it, and it's something to hear other people talk about it, but it's something to really experience it for yourself. He swung the doors open for me, say, I got something for you to do. I got something for you to do. Boom, open the doors. And when I finally said, you know what? It's you I choose. Yeah. You know, it was just really, that made my mind up. You know what I'm saying? He made my mind up, because it wasn't anything that I could do by myself. Yeah. I didn't know anything, really, just to be honest. I didn't know anything. So when I finally got in him, it was beautiful.
So I appreciate that insight, very, very good insight. And something that you said too, you're talking about your family, and it's something you said, you know, they're doing that time with you. And that's a true message out there. I know there are people out there who have parents who are incarcerated, you live with your grandparents now, things like that. You experience that loss and that time loss as well. And it's something to be able to have your family there, but you really can't really connect with them. You
can't get that.
You're restricted to connecting with your own family. And they right in the room with you. Right. Yeah, man, it's really something. So I appreciate you talking about that experience and you experiencing just that moment with Jesus, that one moment with Jesus changed everything.
Changed everything.
So with that in mind, how did you adjust to life after your incarceration, after that experience, and what was the most challenging part about adjusting?
Man, now that I look back, I really do think I adjusted horribly sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I kind of fooled myself because I was able to make it off parole just enough to go right. You know what I'm saying? Right back. So I kind of fooled myself. But when I really made my mind up to change, I stopped moving. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to move. I stopped moving like the old me. Everything had to break down. Every weight, everything that you thought you couldn't do, you had to just let it go. To adjust, you had to rebuild everything, break everything down, and start anew. You know what I'm saying? And so when I finally was able to see change, you know what I'm saying, with my own eyes, true change. And I'm gonna be honest, you know, I always tell you, you know what I'm saying, that I looked at you when I first came in, and I watched you, and you were young, you're still young, and you, man, you had it and still have it together. You know what I'm saying? And I really was like, man, this man is on the right path. And then I was able to see my church family, you know what I'm saying, and just be able to see what it's supposed to look like, because I never did get a chance to see what it was supposed to look like. So when I was able to pivot in him, you know what I'm saying, when I was able to see it in him and be like, oh, okay, okay, no, you half stepping. You know what I'm saying? You really half stepping. You saying you're straddling the fence now. What you want to do? You know what I'm saying? So when I was really able to see that, my adjustment became that much more easier, because it's almost like when you know right from wrong, truly know right from wrong, you know what I'm saying, then you are responsible for what you do. So I was, when I finally did that, it was like, okay, here's what you need to do, A, B, and C. You know what I'm saying? You need to change all that old stuff. Stop hanging around the old friends. Stop going to the old places, because you ain't seen it in a while. You don't need to see it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Wrap yourself up in God. Wrap yourself up in some positive people. You know, people that are going to tell you, going to hold you responsible. You know what I'm saying? The people that are going to be able to tell you, hey, that's not right for you. And if you really want change, you know what I'm saying? If you really want to adjust, you know what I'm saying? This is the way to go about it. And the hardest challenge for me was really employment was the hardest challenge for me, and also just the way people look at you. You know, I had these tattoos on me, you know what I'm saying, and people immediately, you know what I'm saying, just like to tie tattoos in with the locked up and incarcerated thing, or the bad guy, the thug, you know what I'm saying, they like to tie that in. But getting over that, getting over not really caring, and it's not anything that somebody else is going to do for you. You're going to have to be able to look at the situation and say that, hey, I don't care how you judge me, because I know who I am. So those were like the biggest hurdles for me, finding employment, going out in this Houston heat with long sleeves, trying to get them not to see these tattoos to get employment. And another adjustment was for me was how my mindset handled people. You know what I'm saying? My mind always said, hey, it's the aggressor that you have to show in order for people to respect you. You know what I'm saying? When I adjusted, it was, you can say less. You can say less. And get more results. With less. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that thing where he said, man, just stand and I'll do the work for you. You know what I'm saying? But you can say less, man. And you saw it. I was very standoffish. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at the drop of a hat. And man, that was my biggest adjustment. That was my biggest challenge. Learning how to deal with people, because I wanted them to deal with me a different way. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to want something from somebody, if you're going to want a different result, you're going to want a person to see you in a different light. You can't give them the same thing that you've been giving everybody else. So, you know what I'm saying? I had to learn, hey, it's you that's going to be able to make them see you in a different light. Stop letting them see you the same way you've been being. So once I started to just, hey, soften yourself, man. Circumcise your heart.
My God.
You know what I'm saying? Circumcise your heart. Cut away some of that old stuff. Forgive some things in your life. First of all, forgive you. You know what I'm saying? Forgive you. Lay that down. Forgive you. Stop holding a pity party with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And just take the steps, one step at a time. Take the steps in Him, and the change will come.
Yeah. And not overnight.
No, not overnight.
It's a process.
It is gonna be it's a process. It's still a process. You know what I'm saying? You still have to. I'm still having to get over some things. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so glad that I'll be off parole in like 3 months.
All right, man.
And this time, I know there's no going back. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's only bigger things from here, because some of the restriction falls.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not at liberty to pick them back up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not at liberty to pick them back up. I don't want to. I don't need to. And that's the thing that I know now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really dealing with, in a couple of months, I'm really truly from the penal system going to be free. I'm not a number.
Yeah.
I won't be a number anymore. I won't have to go in and remember this 1592227. I won't have to remember that. You know what I'm saying? They burn that in you.
Yeah.
They burn that number in you. When you say your name, before you say your name, you say your number. You know what I'm saying? Before you say they call you, when they call you by your Stevens, they want you to rattle that number off. You know what I'm saying? I'm no longer that to anyone in 3 months. I'm no longer that. And it's only because of Him.
Yes. So one thing I really liked that you said was, you said you're not even at liberty to pick those things back up. And what that made me think of, when eagles fly, right? They fly up so high. No other species of birds even just get with them. And typically they ain't even the crowded kind of bird. They just, fly high by themselves. But it's something about, I see the picture of an eagle flying up, and it's got something maybe stuck to the talon or something, and get up there. And when it finally released that thing, or it's finally gone and it fall off, how far it's got to fall down to get back to the ground. And just what you said, no longer even at liberty. I don't even fly that low to be able to pick it back up. Man, that's good stuff. I love it. So I appreciate this so much. And I just want you to know, you've grown. I'm proud of you. Man, it's nothing like when you made up your mind.
Yes, it needs to be a thing that needs to be really highlighted. You know what I'm saying? It's make up your mind, or somebody will make it up for you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's make up your mind while you have the choice and the free will. Because when somebody else makes it up for you, you usually don't have 100% free choice of what you want to do. So make up your mind, man. If it was me telling you to make up your mind, I tell you right now, make up your mind and choose Him.
Yeah.
With Him, you can't go wrong.
All right, so our next question says, what helped you make up your mind to make those changes real for you?
Well, like I say, my church family, man, I really do. I really do. You know, I really do owe my church family for real change. You know, we had that was our thing. A change happens here and now. You know what I'm saying? And for a long time, even when I was straddling and trying to make my way through this thing, you know what I'm saying, I was still trying to hold on to some things. You know what I'm saying? I still wanted to hold on to my identity in the streets. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No longer my identity don't mean nothing in the streets. It means totally nothing in the streets no more. You know what I'm saying? Because the streets mean nothing to me no more. So I owe a lot of my change to my bishop. My bishop for it, because man, I was able to see him. I always told him that who knew that when I asked God that I was gonna need to see this thing here, that he was what I was gonna need to see.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? A person that had kind of been out there, you know what I'm saying, and made up his mind for God, but still was able to keep his him intact. You know, a man's man, be able to keep it. Ain't no softness in this. It don't have to be no softness in this. So when I really, man, was able to, and I'm gonna tell you what it was more than anything, not wanting to disappoint. You know what I'm saying? When I got to the church and I got within this church family, it was an expectation.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That people, that my church family had on me. They walked through this thing with me. They saw me struggle. You know what I'm saying? They saw me fall and try to pick myself back up, ask God to forgive me and keep back on. But after a while, it became an expectation and I had to adhere to that expectation. Look, man, look, these people, I'm not about to, no, I'm not about to disrespect this here. I'm not about to disrespect God. So, hey, you need to get right, fully get right. And when man, that change only came in, man, finding God, digging in his word. Because I always say in his word is his voice. You know what I'm saying? So, man, when you finally get to digging in, and you finally get to digging in, and you finally get to hearing from God, because that was another area I was restricted in. You know what I'm saying? My ears were so open to everything else. You know what I'm saying? That I was restricted from hearing from him. And for a long time, I said that, man, God don't talk to me. No, it wasn't God don't talk to you. You're not listening. You're not in the right lane to be able to listen. So when I finally, man, I almost kind of remember when I really truly first heard his voice, and he talking to me, and when he downpoured stuff into me, man, and it was like, okay, and that made me feel so special. Yes. You know what I'm saying? That made me feel so special, and to the point to where, you know how when you're young and you get that certain look from that certain female that you liked, and it made you feel so whatever you did, you're trying to reproduce that. You're trying to reproduce that to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? It was just like that, man. When I got that, almost that touch, that whisper, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like, hey, man, that, man, I felt so special. It was like, okay, whatever you got to do, whatever you got to change, whoever you got to deny, whoever you got to say, hey, I'm no longer, you know what I'm saying, just to feel that, this is what you'll do. And that's when change became really real to me, man. When I was able to understand that back then I was understanding that, hey, I need to make this change for my family. You know what I'm saying? And then once I grew a little bit, I was like, this change need to be for you, for it to be best for your family. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end, it was like, hey, man, this change is because you represent somebody. You know what I'm saying? You represent somebody, so you have to change. You have to change in order for people to see who you represent in you. You have to change. So that's when, man, it became real to me when I wrapped my mind and when I dug deeper in God and when I got around a church family lifestyle of Christ that was really willing to teach the hard stuff. The stuff that people dance around. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that people dance around. The real hard truth, whether you like it or not, because it's in that you'll grow. It's in that right there, the stuff that rubs you the wrong way. It's in that right there that you'll take a look at yourself and you'll really grow. So when I got into that and I was able to get around a church family, man, that really knew how to nurture change. You know what I'm saying? That really knew how to nurture change and pull the best out of you. That's when change became really real to me.
Wow. All right. Well, you did answer the next question, so I'm going to read it out just for reference. But you did answer it in this explanation. What was the benefit of a made-up mind, and what keeps you focused now? So you kind of brushed on it, you touched on it. So we'll move forward with that. And with that being said, you guys know that I always pull a quote, and I read a quote that changed my life, and it simply said, "The mind is either your prison or your palace. Fear being your cell, or faith being your key." What are your thoughts there with that quote?
That is really a major quote, because the mind can be two things to you, and before you're ever incarcerated in a spot, in a place, in a location, it takes place in your mind. You know what I'm saying? It really takes place in your mind. You can hone up a certain type of mindset that will keep you locked up mentally, or you can hone in on a mindset that says you can do all. You know what I'm saying? And that sets no limits. You know what I'm saying? No limitations, no restrictions. You know what I'm saying? And yes, you know what I'm saying? Your mind is the key to your freedom. I read a book when I was down by Joyce Myers, The Mind is the Battlefield. You know what I'm saying? And it really changed. It really jogged some things and made me think about some things, and that this is where it starts at. You know what I'm saying? So that statement is very true and very personal to me, because if it never would have changed up there in my mind, if it never would have, if I never could have saw myself in this light, you know what I'm saying, in my mind first, you know what I'm saying, then I would have never attempted to go after real change.
I completely agree. I believe that in life, we have the power to be fully vindicated by simply a shift of perspective, right? And as simple as that may sound, that just goes to show how hard a simple decision, a simple perspective change can really be, how heavy it can be, how hard it can be. I think that oftentimes we, and like the quote says simply, that fear is the cell, faith is the key, right? I think oftentimes, because we have assurance, because remember, faith is what we don't see, it's what we don't know, it's what we can't see, it's what we have no knowledge of, right? And so we're bred as a society and as a people to fear the unknown, right? So how do you expect someone who, how do you expect someone to adapt and operate in a faith mentality, which requires you to take a chance on the things you don't see and the things you don't know, versus fear, right? Which is false evidence appearing real. It's a lie, okay? But it's a lie that we can obtain. It's a lie that's tangible. It's a lie that we can touch. A lie that we can feel. A lie that we can connect to, right? And so oftentimes, when it comes to our minds, we'll stay stuck in the lie. Why? Because it's an assured thing. We know where it is, where it's taking us. You understand what I'm saying? We know. We can be comfortable right there. But we don't often tap into that faith component, which is not only the key to liberate us from that fear factor, that mental prison, but then can take us, because the quote doesn't say just the key to the door of fear. It says the key, period. That means every door every door you walk through. You know what I'm saying? It's the key. Faith is the key. And some of us, we don't want to walk in some doors.
Man, I'm glad you used that word fear right then, because I'm here to tell you, and this is for anybody listening and watching, man, never be scared to fail.
That's good.
Never be fearful of failure, because it'll stagnate you. You know, and that's I'm glad you said it right then, because that was the key to the mindset I had back then. I can't do this. I'm not gonna even try. So I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to. But man, if I was to tell somebody, man, fail a bunch of times early. Fail a bunch of times early, man. Go at it. Go at it, go at it, go at it. Keep going at it, keep going at it. Don't let that build up. Let that be your boldness. Let that build a boldness on you that, hey, not this time, but the next time. You know what I'm saying? Not this time, but the next time. Okay, bring some from that time to this time. Okay, getting closer. But don't let fear, you know what I'm saying, the fear of failure. Don't let that hold you back, because it will do just that. It will hold you back. It will stop you from trying. It will restrict you. I mean, in an enormous way. You know what I'm saying? To where you revert back to the only thing you feel comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? So just, man, if it's a kid listening, if it's a young adult listening, man, keep trying. Keep trying over and over and over and over the positive thing. The positive thing. Keep trying. And if you're stuck in a situation that you feel like you can't, you know what I'm saying? Keep trying. Keep trying to get out of it. Keep trying to get out of it. I mean, grab you some help. Keep trying. Keep trying. Don't just settle for what you're in because you're in it, because you know nothing else, man. Reach for every tool around you that you can, and just keep trying to get out, man. Don't be scared to do anything.
Because as we stated before, as the quote states, the key is there. The key to the door that you're trying to get through, get in, get under, whatever. It's faith. So you have the key. And then the thing about it is you can grow. You can keep adding keys. You know, be just like one of them janitors with
the whole ring.
Just
they can hear you coming. You know what I'm saying?
Keys. Why? Because I'm exercising in my faith, and I'm gonna open the door. And because I have faith, I don't know what's on the other side. I trust God. I trust in where He's leading me. And I go through the door anyway. And guess what? If I fail on the inside of that door, then that's on. Look, God, in God we can't fail. And in God there is no failure.
It's learning. It's learning. And every time you go through one of them doors,
so you keep going.
Yeah.
All right. Now, last question is: where has change brought you thus far, and where do you see these changes taking you?
Man, I would be remiss if I didn't say, man, change has taken me, man, just wow, really to a whole new shift, a whole 180 in my life. You know, I was a money hungry. You know, that's what my mind was. Money. Now my mind right now is, man, I have the source to all of it. And money isn't the most important thing, but I'm guarantee you, the mindset I have right now, who I'm in right now, which is Him, Christ, who I'm in right now gives me access to everything that He wants for me. Everything that He wants for me. You know what I'm saying? In His will, everything that He wants for me. And it's just so crazy that 10 years ago, I wouldn't see myself cleaning a church. I cleaned my church home. You know what I'm saying? I'm very active in my church home. You know what I'm saying? And man, I brag about my church home. You know what I'm saying? I brag about my church home. It's brought me to a point to where, man, I couldn't see myself right now going backwards.
That's good.
I couldn't see myself right now going backwards, but I definitely can see myself catapulting to greater heights. You know what I'm saying? I settle for nothing now. You know what I'm saying? I'm always looking for elevation. Elevation in Him. Every round in Him is higher. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always looking for the next big thing that God has for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't move without Him. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it's taken me. It's even taken me to have a small lane to be able to tell others and to go after others, to disciple to others, and try to let the others that I've dealt with, you know what I'm saying, see that, hey, in Him, He changed me so he can also change you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that boldness in him is where I rest and reside right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's taking me to be a better son. It's taking me to be a better husband, a better uncle, a better brother. You know what I'm saying? And it's really, man, it is a beautiful thing for you to really know that now you're in a place where you can't be denied of anything. You know what I'm saying? Now you're in a place where it's just a flow. You know what I'm saying? It's just a flow now. You know what I'm saying? Life really has gotten much less complicated.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's really taking me to, and you know, I have a couple business ventures, and God has really been talking to me in a lot of different areas. You know what I'm saying? So it's taking me to where this here is where he says that, man, if you take care of mine, I'll take care of yours. And you know, I thought that was really a cliche statement back then, but God has really showed me that. I'm talking about at every chance he could get. When I was doing wrong, man, he was still on my side. But when I was doing wrong, and when I wasn't in it, I didn't have a bank account. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm doing less work. And the work that I am doing, guess what? He's provided. You know what I'm saying? He's provided at every turn. At every turn, he's protected my family. At every turn, my mother, my father, you know what I'm saying, 70 plus, my daddy pushing 80, my mama 73, and man, he's protected them. That worry that you had about something happening to them, in me, you don't have to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? He's really taught me how to be a better person. And I see it really going to new heights. You know what I'm saying? The new heights. I don't see a ceiling. I don't see a ceiling. You know what I'm saying? I can't see a ceiling. Because anything somebody could say to me, man, could you see yourself doing that? Is it in him? Yeah, I can see myself doing that.
That's it.
Yeah, I can see myself doing that. Reaching that goal. Yeah, I can see myself doing that. So no, it's taking me to have man, I can do all mindset through Christ who strengthens me.
Yes. All right. Well, that concludes our food for thought, which is the main portion of our episode, and we're transitioning into our last portion, which is the takeaway. That is our challenge or our words of encouragement, something that we're enlisting you all as listeners to do for the next 7 days to really be engaged within the confines of the podcast. And so with that being said, would you like to do your takeaway? Would you like me to start?
My takeaway from this thing is that, man, my challenge for somebody out there, because like I said, the job thing that just came from being incarcerated.
I think it just ended up as I was looking at the light. Not yet. All right, so we have come to the end of the episode. This is our takeaway portion. As viewers and listeners, this is our way to be able to help challenge you all to be engaged with the podcast episode, and also a way to encourage you all for the next 7 days to do something different. So you have your takeaway, and I'll give my takeaway, and go ahead.
My takeaway from this, man, was just, man, make up your mind. It's going to be a lot better for you if you make it up now. You know what I'm saying? You have a made up mindset now for right. You know what I'm saying? If you have made up, and my challenge would be for you to just, for a person coming home, drown out what the people are saying or what you're hearing about you negatively. Post positive affirmations somewhere where you can see them on your mirror, on your bedpost, and speak them out loud to yourself every day before you leave out your door. You know what I'm saying? Before you leave out your door to fill out an application, you need to have on your mirror, I will get this job, but if I don't get this job, it won't hold me from applying for the next one. You know what I'm saying? And you need to have that somewhere where you can see it. You need to have that on your mind that regardless of how the world sees me, regardless of how people see me, I see myself changed. You need to speak these things to yourself daily, because just like when you get the negative in your head and it builds up, you know what I'm saying, it starts to sit and rent space in your mind. When you start speaking these positive affirmations to yourself daily, it will change. It will change the way you feel about yourself, which will also make your outcome and how you expect people to look at you and respond to you. It will make it different.
Awesome. Put two things, let me check the camera real quick and make sure it's recording. Oh yeah, it's still live. Okay, he's still live. Come on. This. Oh. This one ever bought.
Yeah, you making him.
He probably like, shut up.
I'm tired of hearing you too. Yeah, I'm tired of hearing you, man.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Stephens, that's an awesome thought. I love how you talked about the affirmations, putting those affirmations before you leave the house. It's just like, us as believers, we're to put on our full armor of God, right? And that's something that comes along with that. We also, that's good for anybody, but especially for those who come out of a system that's already designed against you, right? But put some things in place to keep your mind sane,
right.
And keep your mind off of those restrictions. Right. So with that being said, my takeaway is for all who have been either incarcerated, affected by the system in and of itself, incarceration, those who have loved ones and mothers or fathers or something of that nature, someone they're immediately connected to that's incarcerated. Of course, we always promote the hope that we have in Christ here in this podcast. And I know it may be cliche and all these kind of things, you meet God in prison and all these kind of cliches that go forth, but I really do want to encourage those who are listening to really get in tune with the God in them. Oftentimes we look at God and God's presence and we just look at this outside force, right? But God lives on the inside of us. He desires to reside on the inside of us. And the thing about it is He gave us a spirit to connect with Him. So really dig on the inside. Like the quote said, our minds, we have an opportunity to either make them a palace or a prison. So even if you might be physically incarcerated, locked up, physically a part of the system, your mind does not have to be there. And so for me, it's all about securing the sanctity of your mind. Using your faith, being connected to your spirit, your human spirit, that then will help you connect to the Holy Spirit. Amen. In order for God to be in you and you in Him, and allow that freedom to transpire in your mind first. And remember, it's always evident of what the actions do. They follow the mind. So what the mind do, the actions follow. If you keep your mind stayed on Him.
That's it. That's it.
Your actions will begin to follow suit.
That's it.
So I just want to encourage everyone, even those, like I say, who may not be incarcerated, but may have just the mental anguish and feeling that way because you have a loved one that is and you can't be connected and all that kind of stuff. All things work together for the good of those who love God. So I want to encourage all of us to be connected this week in our inner man, in our spirit, and just continue to pray, keep our mind focused on Christ, keep our mind focused on being connected with Him, so that will get us through these hard times, the tough times, the anguish, the depression, the anxiety that comes along with it. And finally, more than anything, after we've kept our mind focused on Him, stayed on Him, then allow the freedom that comes along with it to be just that. Because oftentimes we'll put the restrictions on ourselves. We'll put the handcuffs on. We'll put the key in the lock and then throw the key. We'll do that for ourselves. But I'm challenging everyone not only to connect with your spirit, connect with the Spirit of God through your human spirit, through your on the inside, right? But I'm encouraging and challenging everyone to embrace the liberty that comes along with it. The word says that when the Spirit of the Lord is present, there's a liberty. So embrace the freedom that's going to come with that experience of being connected to God. So that's my takeaway. Yes, sir.
Just two quick things.
Go ahead.
It is healing in transparency.
Oh, yeah.
So get real with somebody.
Absolutely.
Get real with somebody and allow them to help you heal. And one more thing, you hear us a lot scream, him, it's him, it's him, it's him. Let me give you an acronym for him. He in me.
That's it. I like
he
that.
in me. You know what I'm saying? So if that will leave you with that, leave you with that alone.
It's He who is in me.
He
That's
who
it.
is in me.
Okay, so we didn't get a chance to promote you, but I wanted to promote you anyway. I got on the Counselor's Kitchen t-shirt, and it is original by Brother Raheim Stephens. So go ahead and give them a little bit of taste of what you do and who you are in that regard, and let them know how they can find you.
We do, me and my wife, we do t-shirts up under Spirit-Driven Apparel.
Yes.
And Unique Design. You can really much find me up under my name. Email Raheim850@gmail.com. Or you can just really look me up under Raheim Stephens and find anything you would want to find about me. You can get at me through any Facebook. My wife's name is Cashapp Stephens. You can get at her through Facebook, Instagram, and if you would happen to need any kind of, and all I do is spiritual apparel.
Yes.
If you would, and I mean original spiritual apparel. So if you get at me and say, hey, I need you to do your thing, you'll never see it again.
That's it. Yeah.
You'll never see it again.
It.
So with those are the lanes that I'm really in right now. And me and my wife are in the Spirit-Driven Apparel and Unique Design. You can reach us on Facebook if you need to reach us. And we do a lot in that area. We do a lot from t-shirts to cups to hats to we do a lot to plaques to we do a lot. So if it's able to be reached in that area, we'll be able to get at you.
All right. So y'all heard it here. Unique Designs, Blessed Apparel. Y'all go ahead and give them a shout out. And I'm telling you, anything you need, they can get it done. They gonna find a way to get it done. And as he stated, original. So they're not just gonna leave you in the dark. No, they'll create something for you if you need that. So I appreciate them. They do all of my apparel, and I love it. I appreciate them every time they come through for me, my labels, all that good stuff. So I appreciate them so much. So y'all know where to find me, Counselor's Kitchen everywhere. counselorskitchen@gmail.com, _Counselor's Kitchen Instagram, as well as the Counselor's Kitchen on Facebook. So all of your needs, I do the catering and all that good stuff, private chef, private events. But I want you all more than anything to be blessed by this podcast. So continue to like, subscribe, and share. Make sure you give everybody the news on where they can come every week to hear a blessed word, to hear a word of encouragement, to hear a word of how to push through, and just keep pushing through life. So as always, thank y'all for listening and tuning in for another episode. I have been your host, Davion Lewis, with Raheim Stephens, and y'all have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Blessed day.
Make sure you all go and be great. As I always say, go and be great. Yes. All right. I love y'all. Till next time. Bye-bye.